sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not, and I'm cool with that, and I think everybody else are good with that. I think the way how he play, everybody can step up, and everybody can be a best player in one game or whatever week or whatever. So I don't know. Can I say myself as a best? The ball is in my hands a lot, so I make a lot of decisions. So, but I don't know. Can I be the best player?
Oh, Michael Malone's going to be pissed. More underrating of Joker. Give the man his respect.
30, 13, 10. He's shooting over 50% and 47%
That's crazy.
from three. He's also shooting 100% on three-pointers that you said he shouldn't even be shooting that. But if the shot clock's winding down,
threes.
it's just amazing.
Well, he's also minus money, so a favorite to average a triple-double in these finals, which is bananas.
Yeah.
It's been done once ever in a finals. LeBron in a losing effort in 2017. Like the fact that he is expected to average a triple-double is
done it through the playoffs.
Through the playoffs. Listen, I don't think you can actually slow him down offensively.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the fork in the road in his career was a few years ago when he fully got in shape. Now, he's not ripped and he doesn't look like crazy fit, but he used to be heavy. And because of that, he could wear down. You could wear him down defensively and would hurt his offense. Once he shed the weight and made it to where he was able to play 40 minutes in big spots, he is too strong for a Draymond or a Bam type to be able to, and too tall to deal with him one-on-one. And he's too smart and good with the ball, and you call him the best passing big ever. I've always said Walton, but he's starting to make a pretty great case that it's him. So there is no way to stop it, right?
Right.
So the question is, how do you mitigate the damage the most? And I would argue, take a page out of Greg Popovich's playbook. So I'm going to go back to the 2005 Western Conference Finals. It was Spurs-Suns. Amari Stoudemire, who averaged 26 a game in that regular season and was first or second team All-NBA, was awesome. Pre-injury, Amari was awesome.
Yep.
He averaged 37 points per game in that series for the Suns, and they lost in 5. Because Pop was like, anything but the others hitting threes, the others making shots, we can deal with. And the Nuggets this year are not unbeatable when Jokic has huge scoring nights. In fact, the 10 highest scoring nights of the postseason for any player, the non-Jokic games, those teams that had a guy score 43 plus or whatever, are 7-1. The Nuggets are 0-2. And, they've only lost 3 times.
43 and 53 points.
Right. The only time, however, they are basically unbeatable when he has the triple-double because he has 10-plus assists. Mm-hmm. Here's the Nuggets record this year when Jokic does and doesn't have 10-plus assists. Does have 10-plus assists, that is a 73-win Warriors pace. Doesn't have 10-plus assists, that is a 13 seed. And so if I am the Heat, Brew, I'm saying, sorry, Bam, and I get Kevin Love will get some minutes on him. Highsmith will get some. Listen, he's going to score on you, and it's going to look bad, but we're not doubling. And if he scores 40, we're dealing with it.
Yep.
And we're just not letting him spray the ball out so Bruce Brown and Jamal Murray and KCP feel comfortable. That would be my strategy.
I don't disagree with that. You at least have to try that. Okay, and remember, I was saying the Lakers should try that. And they really never went
didn't,
that
and they
route.
weren't disciplined enough. They would come off the shooter by a step, and he'd find them.
Yeah, because your natural instinct. Now, the Heat are a very smart and disciplined team, so maybe they'll be able to be better at it. But look, he's going to get 25 to 35, even if you double him, right? And so if you don't double him, he is a lot of times the greatest playmakers, LeBron, Chris Paul, Jokic, Magic Johnson. And this dude is the first real point center we've seen. He's a great playmaker. A lot of times they're kind of, I don't want to say reluctant scorers. Chris Paul certainly is. But they just don't like. LeBron doesn't. LeBron could have averaged 35 so many years of his career, but they want to get everybody involved. And that's how Jokic is. And I would say, Nick, you said the turning point was when he got in shape. Obviously, that was big. but also when Jamal Murray got hurt, because he had to begin scoring more.
Oh, that's smart.
Like Murray was their leading scorer last year.
That's smart.
That he was
I didn't
healthy,
think about it
right?
like
In
that,
the
but that's a
bubble,
good
in playoffs and regular season. Then Jokic had to start scoring more. That's when he won the 2 MVPs. And this year, Murray's back. His scoring dropped 3 points. So I agree, because I don't think he wants to go get 45 points. He maybe even 40 points. Look, they got nobody for him. Bam, Cody Zeller, Kevin Love. Well, all they're going to do is he's going to destroy him, but they're also going to just put him in pick and rolls with Jamal Murray, get the switch, and then Murray's going to feast. So I agree with you. I don't think the zone is an answer. They'll use it, but he's so smart and big that he'll pick them apart with passing to his shooters and cutters. So, yeah, I look, they're not going to do that the whole series, but at times you definitely need to stick with that and try it out.
So what's the ceiling for Joker's best game before he's like, oh, you're shooting too much? Is it 40, he's having a good game, 50?
What do you mean?
50, you're punching yourself out? Like, yeah, if you're going to let him score, what's the difference between, like, wow, he's scoring at a very effective rate, because that would be my worry, that if, like, Amari Stoudemire would need a lot more shots to get to 37.
I mean, listen, I don't have a number. I do think Brew alluded or said it earlier. When he scored 53, they lost to the Timberwolves.
And didn't he have 10 assists that game?
That game was an overall awesome game. They lost in overtime, if I remember correctly. They were down huge late, and then they came back. Again, and this is where I'll just, I'm going to break my New Year's resolution.
Oh, what?
I'm going to be humble for just a moment. I'm trying to be less humble this year, but I will.
I don't think
this is where I think Eric Spoelstra probably does understand basketball a little better than I do.
Oh,
and has some ideas, has some, this is where we talk about coaching mattering. But Spoelstra, I am certain, from how early do you think Spo had guys in his old job, the film room guys, starting to scout the Nuggets? Once they went up 3-0, right? Once they were up 3-0 and the Nuggets were up 3-0, there were parts of the coaching staff that were starting to work on what we're going to do against Denver.
Right.
They might not have the horses, and while Bam can't guard him, Bam can't stop him, I should say. Bam has to stay out of foul trouble.
Well, that's the challenge with that.
Correct.
If you leave Bam on him on an island,
it's hard, man.
He's going to get him in foul trouble. I'll answer your question. And that's the value of going that route if you're the other team. Like, there's no number. Like, if Jokic has 45 and he's shooting 60%, the Nuggets aren't going to be like, we got to get everybody else involved. Like, he's going to keep punishing them. Yeah. I mean, that's what you do. And so we'll see if it works. I mean, if the other guys just can't get going. But there's no number where you're like, I'm scoring too much if you're doing it efficiently.
Yeah, mine would be 200.
Right.
I mean, he's got 100 at half. I don't know if the strategies work. All right, so Nick, who do you think has a more productive game here, Jimmy or Joker, assuming that the Heat just don't let Joker score at will?
Well, yeah. So I think Joker's going to have the best stat line. I think Jimmy's going to control the basketball game, and I think Jimmy has taken game ones by the throat throughout this postseason and recognized the importance of flipping home court, recognized most notably against the Celtics and Bucks, I think, in making sure his team believes as much as he does that we're better than them, we can beat them, and we can show you his game one averages, and then keep in mind that's what's dragging them down is the 25 points in game one against the Knicks when he hurt his ankle. Remember the end of that game, last 6 minutes, he couldn't move. Everybody knew it, but Thibodeau, if you remember the game. And, I mean, he had 35 in game one against Milwaukee with 11 assists. He had 35, 7, 5, and 6 in game one against Boston. That was when they kept throwing him the ball. I think Jimmy is going to, I don't know if, I would not have Jimmy guarding Jamal Murray. Because I
don't think they will.
Because I think he needs to control the offensive possessions, kind of LeBron-esque, hand on the joystick. So I think Jimmy's going to control tonight's game.
I don't remember you making a pick in the A's, and I'm not saying that jokingly.
No, I believe Miami's going to win. Yes.
Okay. Jokic, like Nick said, I think he'll have the better stat line, and I think they'll win, so he'll definitely have the better game. Jimmy, look, he was great in Game 7, or very good in Game 7 against Boston.